before you flatline. Make a master plan, watch it backfire. Burn it all down and collect the ashes. Build it back.
Alright, what up? Welcome to the All Grind Sports Show. We're politically incorrect. I go by the name of JC. And as y'all can see, it's just me today, man. Here on my solo. Shout out to all my co-hosts and my guys who've been here over the years. But today is just going to be a solo one. I think it's been about 100 episodes. I think like episode 57 was the last time I did this. So hope y'all enjoy, man. I'm just here to go over all the signings and trades and just keep y'all updated, man, until our next one. We got a lot of fun episodes that will have plenty of new guests for y'all, and from our NFL predictions, NBA predictions, Madden ratings. We got some very, very fun episodes coming, man. But, first, I just want to thank y'all for tuning in the way y'all have been. Make sure you continue to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all here with me. And I appreciate that. So, nobody to introduce, just myself, your guy, JC. You guys been showing out, man, on some of the videos and the clips. Been doing pretty good, man. So, I just want to thank y'all once again. And that being said, man, I guess we can just jump right into it. Not the first, but I guess the biggest move that I can get into is Milwaukee waiving Dame. Pretty much a shock to the NBA world, but I don't know if they were creating space for Miles Turner or what the deal with that was exactly, but they still owe Dame $22 million a year for at least the next 4 to 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. And then they signed Miles Turner to the $100 million contract. I'm not really understanding the angle. I don't know if they just given up because they feel like Dame won't be the same when he does come back, not next year, but the following year after. I don't know if it's an incentive to try to keep Giannis or what they have going on, but that's pretty much where we are. I don't know if it's fair to say this is a failed experiment yet, man. I think with how the team is constructed, I still think they got some work to do. They were already kind of starving in the point guard at the point guard position. And then I know they lost some defensively because Drew was gone. But I mean, Dame is Dame, bro. I don't have to get into why he is who he is. In any team, if there's anybody that's willing to, somebody who's worth taking a chance on, I feel like it's Dame, even at his age. And I understand the ACL injury and everything. Do I think he'll be prime or peak Dame? No. But do I think he can still be better than 75 to 80% of the league at his best once he comes back? 100%. We see a lot of stars in his age bracket that are still thriving and averaging 25, i.e. Steph, i.e. KD. I know Russ is having his struggles. Obviously Harden isn't who he, used to be, but he still is effective on the offensive end and orchestrating offense for the team. Obviously his playoff choker tendencies, but that's what you get. You take the good with the bad when it comes to him. So I know, I'm probably gonna sound like a Laker fan saying we should go get Dame because we feel like that about everybody. But I'm not opposed to Dame coming over to LA. I know he's never truly been a fan of us like that, but we're still. We haven't really done much this summer, if we're being completely honest anyway. It looks like they're just trying to run it with what we got, plus DeAndre Ayton, which I'll get to in a bit. But, that's pretty much where we at, man. I'm cool with bringing Dame over. But, like I said, I'll jump more into, where the Lakers are right now in a bit, because I'm not the happiest, if I'm being honest with y'all. Mr. Triple J for Memphis Signed a $240 million contract for 5 years. So congrats to him. I believe he had a turf toe injury or something like that. Not too long after that, he's getting worked on. Um, but we'll see if he's ready for the season. But I would say well earned. I know a lot of people have a problem with the number, but I mean, I understand what the cap situation is with these teams these days. Um, and somebody who is a 3 and D plus, can guard in the interior and be a great rim protector the way he is. Them kind of players don't grow on trees these days, especially. So I have no problem with it. Um, we got Drew Holiday to Portland for Anthony Simons. Apparently, Boston is kind of having like a clearance because they're trying to get out of that second apron / luxury tax. It's over here. Um, Simons is, he's not Drew on defense, but I do think he has a little more upside offensively, and he's younger. So I'm not gonna say it's necessarily a bad move for Boston, and plus I think this is kind of like a let's get through the year kind of thing because obviously Tatum more than likely isn't playing next year, so you're gonna have like a Simons and Brown kind of 1-2 combo. We'll see how that works out. I guess I could talk to y'all more about that on the prediction episode, but and Portland, I'm kind of confused on why they took Drew. They were the ones that traded for him in the first place when Milwaukee traded him, and then Milwaukee and then they did a buyout, or I don't remember if it was a buyout or they traded him to Boston, but it was like they traded for him under the understanding that he wasn't going to be a Blazer. So I don't know if Portland is. I don't know this time around. I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to be looking at Sham's page throughout this episode to get more details. But actually, let me see. Yeah, let me try to look more into the details for Drew, man, of what they want to do this time around. So yeah, according to what I see, I mean, it looks like he's staying put for now. Anything could happen, obviously, in this day and age, but joins the team prime to contend for a championship. He's healthy at 35. Okay, so yeah, it looks like Portland's gonna rock out this time. So we'll see how that goes, man. I know, the summer's still pretty young. There's still some moves to be made. So we shall see. So what we got next? We got Porzingis, a part of their clearance. He got traded to Atlanta. I mean, with Atlanta, I don't know what they're doing over there. I don't see this really moving the needle or anything. Like Porzingis hasn't really shown to be a true 2 or even 3 third option for a team that shows success. Atlanta's just been kind of all over the place. Like it seems like they don't really have a direction of what they want to do, but they're making it clear that they're riding with Trey, at least as of right now. Obviously, after the Lucas fit, nothing can surprise me. That's why I keep giving these disclaimers of what can happen. But yeah. So Porzingis is on Atlanta. CJ McCollum was traded to the Wizards. Even with that, man, it's like I don't know what the Wizards are doing, bro. Like they getting all these like second option stars who are all like late in their peak and putting them all together from CJ to Middleton to Marcus Smart. And then they still got 3-4 centers over there that they're supposed to be developing. I don't know. I don't know what these guys got going. But Jordan Poole is getting a fresh start over to the Pelicans. He actually did better this year, in my opinion, than the year before. When Poole got over there, I felt like it was free reign. He's going to let it fly. He's the only guy over there. So he should be in a prime position to go over there, average 25, do whatever he wants, have the green light. First year did not quite work like that. It was actually terrible. And I don't know if everything affected him from the Draymond scuffle or whatever, but it was not an ideal year by any means. But he kind of had a bounce back year. I don't know if it's 120 M's worth, but he had a bounce back year nonetheless. So we'll see, man. The Pels are, looking like they're trying to shake things up. I know they got their issues with Zion, and he's I don't know, man. Y'all know how I feel about Zion. I ain't gonna get too much into that, but hey, that's your number one pick. That's your number one pick. I don't know. People could say I'm crazy to say move on from that guy, but you know, it's kind of like when you have a car and you already put so much money and sacrifice into it, and then you start thinking like, damn, like I don't want to get rid of what I already put so much into, and then and then just give up now. And now I lost all of that. But it's like instead, you're going to keep putting money and sacrifice into that same car or bucket or whatever. And then you just wasting more instead of just stopping the bleeding now and just hitting the reset button and maybe save that money to get a new car. I don't know. Maybe the Pels, it looks like they're scared to just say, hey, like this didn't work out. I'm not going to say they effed up. Zion looked like the number one pick at the time. It just hasn't worked out that way. But, that's why you don't, I blame the media, bro. Like, that's why y'all got to be careful, man, when y'all doing these lists and putting him top 20 in the league and he ain't even played a game yet or a minute in the league yet. And it didn't work out how you thought. I know he's had his little spurts and times where he looked good, as a scorer because he's bigger than everybody and can play the bully ball role at times, but to me, he hasn't shown that he's a bona fide superstar in this league, and that was the pressure that y'all set on him that he was supposed to be generational, let alone just a star. So we'll see how that goes, man. Kyrie resigns with Dallas, 119, if I'm not mistaken. He's supposed to miss part of the season. Don't know how much of it, but that's yet to be seen. Shout out to my guy B-Dub. I'm hoping he's able to get some more run this year. He was balling his tail off at the end of last season. Nas Reed signs for 125 with Minnesota. Great signing. I feel like, to be honest, I felt like he needed more play over Julius Randle, in my opinion. But from what I've seen, they also gave Julius some bread. So I don't know how that's going to work. But if I'm Minnesota, I'm starting Nas Reed over Julius. I'll let Julius come off the bench and let Nas finish the games because I don't trust Julius in crunch time situations. So there's that. We got Lonzo, who's on the move again. Chicago finally, I guess, is done with that experiment, and he is off to Cleveland. Did Darius? I don't know if Darius just. Let me see, because I'm trying to see what that means for Darius Garland. Like if they're trying to get a deal done with him, or Darius Garland gets 125. Okay, so so they haven't traded Darius, and I don't know, I know Darius. I feel like Cleveland should move on from Darius because he's another guy who hasn't really shown up for them when it comes to the playoff stuff. But Lonzo is also a big gamble. He hasn't been healthy since he stepped in the league, if we're being honest. He's never really had a healthy season. Like, let me see the most games he's played since he's been in the league. The most games Lonzo has played in the season since he's been in the NBA is 63 games. Matter of fact, let me just run down the whole thing. This is how his seasons have gone: 52 games, 47 games, 63 games, 55 games, 35 games. He didn't play for 2 years, and then he played 35 games last year. If that's not injury prone, I don't know what the F it is. So I'm not banking on that being my future point guard without a backup plan for it. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with them uh, sticking with Darius until they see otherwise, or till they're able to pivot and make another move. Um, Okoro to the Bulls, I think that also hurts Cleveland a little bit, man. If they needed anything on their perimeter was defense. I believe Okoro was their best perimeter defender, and you know we see how important that is. The champions had pretty much all elite defenders on the perimeter for the most part, and and the rim protection, which Cleveland obviously has that down pat, but they can definitely use help on the perimeter. So I don't know if there was some contract situations or conversations that happened that led to that, but that's where we are as far as that goes. So Okoro's on the Bulls. Another team that I have no idea what their direction is. Hopefully next time we get Jay Will on here, he'll have he'll have more of an insight of what they're doing, because I really don't pay attention to the Bulls. But yeah, if I had to just swing at it, like Atlanta, Washington, Chicago, um, even Brooklyn in a way, I'm like, what? I don't know what direction you guys are going in or what you guys are doing. So there's that. Dorian Finley-Smith signed a $53 million contract with Houston. I know everybody's been up in arms about KD. Uh, KD making a comment where he called a stray as soon as he signed, or like before he signed or whatever. But I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, man. I think Houston's probably going to be one of the deepest teams in the league next year. If I'm on the West, I am a little nervous. Obviously, as long KD has to stay healthy. I know that's a big if, but KD has to stay healthy. But on paper, I definitely like how they look. Um, and yeah, I think they're gonna make some noise this year, man. I think anything less than a conference finals is a bust year for them, in my opinion. So we'll see how that goes as well. We got Michael Porter Jr. to Brooklyn, Cam Johnson to Denver. Um, yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't know what Denver's money situation is, but I know MPJ had some underwhelming playoff moments this year. Um, so I don't know. Maybe they're done with that experiment as well, because he's also someone who's dealt with some injury battles from the moment he stepped in the league, to be honest. So, um, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Cam Johnson at Denver. I know Jonas just got traded to Denver, and he's having whatever issues he's having as far as trying to leave and go overseas or whatever. I don't understand why. I don't know if they're offering more money or what, but he's trying to go back to his country and play out there. So we'll see how that goes. But Denver's clearly shaking that roster up, trying to see what comes about of it. And I know this offseason was probably a little underwhelming as far as the splash news, but I think just because a lot of it happened at the trade deadline, and with KD, on Game 7, of the damn finals, which was crazy. Silver needs to change that, man. There should not be any trades going on until the season is completely over. But that's another story. D'Angelo Russell to Dallas. I believe it was a 2-year, 19 mil or something like that. Brooke Lopez to the Clippers. I like that move. Actually, honestly, I like how the Clippers look. They also made the trade I didn't mention yet with Norman Powell going to Miami, I believe, and John Collins going to the Clips. So, I know Chris Paul is trying to figure out what team he should go to, but man, I think if he's able to find a way to and sign with the Clippers, because I think the Clippers and Phoenix are his last two choices. I like. Well, I don't know if I like the Phoenix move, but I think Clippers would be a perfect fit. You get him, James Harden, Kawhi, John Collins, and Brooke Lopez as your starting five. Yes, you're losing that punch from Norman Powell, but I'm confident in that starting five. Just have Kawhi be your closer, but again, we're going back to how it looks on paper versus what the reality is. These guys have shown that they've been getting hurt a lot in the last, years. Chris, for sure, like that goes without saying how injury prone he is. Kawhi speaks for itself, so it might just be a season of Harden out there by himself trying to do his best for most of the season, but this time he won't have a Norman Powell to back him up. So, we shall see, man. And I know they still got Zubac. So they got size. I do like how they look in the interior, but I just think injuries is going to be their kryptonite, if anything. But we shall see. Alexander Walker to Atlanta. I believe he signed a $53 million contract for 4 years. Decent, solid player. Again, it's just Atlanta getting the same kind of guys, high end role players to go with Trae Young while he dominate, and pass the ball off, dribble, pass the ball. I don't know. I do not know, man. We'll see. And then we got this is not a player signing, but the Knicks decided to hire Mike Brown once again. Apparently, they did a thorough search. I don't understand why Thibodeau had to go in the first place. NBA is just brutal, man. Like, he's gotten them further than they have since 25, 26 years ago when they were in the finals against the Spurs. And this is the things he got. So now, think about the pressure that is on Mike Brown, So we shall see, man. I don't agree with the move, but I don't think Mike Brown is a bad coach necessarily. So we shall see. So I'm going to look, see if there's anything I missed, okay, so we got Paolo, who signed a five-year maximum with Orlando, and his deal can reach as high as $287 million. F that spit, young nigga, get paid. Shout out to Paolo, man. He deserves every penny. He's gotten that team out of poverty and made them a respectable franchise for the first time since the Dwight era. So yeah, there's that. I know y'all don't care about that. Larry went back to Philly. Let's see. Don't care about that. If y'all, well, we already talked about Phoenix last time we was here, so I'm gonna bring that up. Cam Whitmore to the Wizards kind of shocked me. I thought that was a young guy they kind of had some hopes for potential in, but seems like he's going over to the Wizards to just be able to jack up shots and see what happens. So there's that. And other than that, that might be it. As far as the significance, I mean, I can give my thoughts on the Lakers situation, man. I just don't understand what Pelinka's doing. I don't really see him making no moves that of any significant value. Um, I feel like you keep a player like Dorian Finney-Smith, who already had chemistry with Luca, but also has improved. Like he's much better. He was much better last year with us than I ever seen him when he was on Dallas. So I don't understand us letting him go. And then apparently it was rumored that he was kind of like Dirty Mac trying to sabotage him behind the scenes and lower his value because of an injury or something. And he still ended up getting paid. So I don't understand that. But yeah, I'm not pleased with where we are right now. I am, for everybody asking me how I feel about the LeBron trade rumors and stuff. I was just talking to my pops about it yesterday. Am I opposed to LeBron being traded? No. Do I think he'll be traded? Absolutely not. He has a no trade clause. He came out here for his family. His son is playing here. He gets to spend more time with his son. He's getting $50 million to play here this year. I am hoping that this is his last season. I do want him to kind of just do his farewell tour, but at the same time, he's earned being able to move to the beat of his own drum. But I do think it is kind of holding us back a bit. Not because of his play. He's still playing phenomenal. I just think him hovering that over our heads of like I can walk away at any moment. I can walk away at any moment and flirt with the idea, but yet you still here. It does affect us. It does affect us because roster construction wise, it's like when we have that kind of money tied up, how do we know what direction to go, when to clear space, or how to clear space, or to bring this person or not? You know what I mean? Like I don't know. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the whole. I'm not a fan of him still being here, and it's not on my hater spit. Like I'm not the biggest Bron fan, but I do appreciate everything he's done to get to the Lakers to this point. But I just wish that he would, whatever he is going to do or whenever he is going to retire, just kind of at least put that out there so we can start moving forward and know what to do with our roster. But Pelinka's not off the hook. He's not doing spit. He has his moments, man. It's like every time I'm ready to give up on Pelinka, something ends up happening where I'm like, all right, you know what I'm saying? You good for now. You know what I mean? Like I was mad during the Westbrook era, and then he ends up, getting all them boys that ended up coming with Schroeder and uh and Vando, and that whole time when we went to the Western Conference Finals. You know what I'm saying? When we ended up doing that, making that trade, and everybody came over, and there was just a whole renovation in our system, and we went on that run. I was cool again. I was like, all right, Pelinka, you good. And then even recently, I was feeling like that, and then we ended up pulling off getting hopefully our superstar for the next, decade, or somewhere around there. Who knows these days? It's rare a player stays for that long, but I just feel like the Lakers have a history of superstars coming this way, and being with us for a certain level of time. So. Yeah, he needs to figure it out, man, because he really didn't do anything significant other than the DeAndre Ayton signing, which is also a gamble. DeAndre is very talented, but he's shown that he can lack work ethic at times for him to be the best of his abilities. I do think it's crazy that we got the number 1 and the number 3 pick of the 2018 draft. But we shall see, man. We still got my, Lil Cuzzo out there, DeAnthony Melton, man. I think that's somebody for us to go for, potentially, man. He can bring what Finley Smith brought. But I know he's having his talks with teams right now. It looks like a lot of the teams are offering veteran minimum, but we'll see, man. I know that a lot of the money's dried up, but we'll see. But to me, that would be a great fit. we can go for right now. You know, when you have LeBron and Luka, it doesn't take much else outside of that. You know what I'm saying? You got LeBron, Luka, and size. You know, just I think at that point we just need some perimeter defense, and I think that's something that Melton can bring. Um, Other than that, man, I think that's about it as far as significance. I know y'all care about Duncan Robinson going to Detroit, 48 million. Um, Tim Hardaway's on Denver. I guess that's supposed to be their kind of, you know, KCP replacement from a couple of years ago when they went on that run. I don't see it, but you know, this is what they're trying to do. I also see they signed Bruce Brown back, who was also on that 23 squad. So yeah, man, Denver's just kind of look like they're just trying to stack on some depth, man. It's probably hard to get a true star to come to Denver. Um, Portal, whatever that guy name is from the Raptors, he signed $100 million extension with Toronto. Schroeder, 45 M's with sack. Well, what a fall from grace. That boy could have signed for 120 with the Lakes, man. 120, bro. And because he was, man, I thank him for it because we probably wouldn't have Luka right now. But man, I know he got to sleep with that at night. But yeah, man, that's about it as far as that goes. Just wanted to update y'all, man, and make sure I got an episode because it's been a couple weeks. Also, football related, we got Jalen Ramsey to the Steelers, Minka to Miami. We shall see how that works out, man. I wanted Ramsey on the Rams personally, but I guess they had to make the money work, and that's where it's at. So we shall see, man. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I ran down the line. Any questions you guys got? Any topics you guys want us to talk about during the off season? We got a lot of great episodes coming up for y'all, man. But y'all can still pitch y'all ideas. Make sure y'all hitting those comments. Make sure y'all sharing our content, man, so we can take this to the furthest extent. Shout out to my guys, man, who's helped me get to this point. I think this is episode 156 or 7. I have to double check when I'm on. I'm in the late 150s though, man. So we on the road to 200, and it's gonna be fun, man. I'm excited. I can't wait, man. So that's why I don't mind coming on here today on the solo tip to talk to y'all because I know we got a lot of great content coming soon, man. So this is my moment to tell y'all just simply thank you. And yeah, that's about it, man. Talk to y'all later. Go Lakers, go Rams, go Dodgers, go Sparks. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. Last but not least, one last thing, man. If any of you guys have listened to our content through Spotify, Apple Podcasts, any of our streaming, even YouTube, at the end of the videos, you can check out. You will hear my guy Smurf, my boy Smurf Too Cool, man. He's been doing the theme music. Well, I've been running his theme music for the All Grind show. So pretty much, man, I'm sad to say that he passed away. I'm not aware of what happened as of now because it's literally fresh. This just happened a couple of days ago. If any of you guys are on my IG, you probably seen my tribute post. But he's responsible for anything musically with me, especially when I was doing music on my own, man. He's been a part of every journey of that. And, I'm super appreciative of him. That was a true brother, a true friend, man. I could sit here all day with stories about my guy, which, I still throughout time will be finding ways to keep him involved with our content, man, because that was a really solid dude, man. Really solid dude, and he's gonna be for surely missed. He's an Antelope Valley legend, and I appreciate him for everything that he's done. And like I said, anybody who might not be familiar, all you have to do is pull up pretty much any episode that we've done on, I'm sorry, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, whatever your go-to is, and you'll hear him at the top of our episodes and at the end of our episodes. So shout out to my brother Smurf, man. You'll always be in my heart. This is my first time speaking publicly, I guess, like in a video format about it. I was a true brother, a true friend, and you'll always be missed, brother. So rest in paradise, my guy. I'll see y'all later.
Before you flatline, make a master plan, watch it backfire. Burn it all down and collect the ashes. Build it back, respect your passion.